Hey awesome friends, it's Anissa, and in this video I'm going to talk about my second trimester symptoms. And if you saw the thumbnail, those are varicose veins, and you'll be surprised where they're located. If you watched my last video about my first trimester symptoms, then you might as well say that I am lucky and I don't have very many symptoms at all. And I don't doubt that I have fairly easy pregnancies even in my second trimester. However, in my second trimester, because of I think of my age, I'm 39 right now, so I'm a geriatric. I have developed varicose veins. Varicose veins are swollen, twisted veins that often appear dark blue or purple, and they're just filled with blood, essentially pooling. Often found in the lower legs or in the upper thighs. So within your veins, you have valves. And when the valves become weakened or damaged, blood starts pooling, and this makes these veins become enlarged and visible. So that's where varicose veins comes from. Besides them looking really ugly, they actually can be quite painful. So if I stand for too long and I'm only having it on my right leg, my leg starts getting painful and starts like warming and burning on the back side. Then I'll have to sit down more and just try to get the blood to kind of circulate around. It happens because of long periods of standing, which of course I do a lot of at work, at home, in the garden. What can you do about it? Well, one is elevate. Elevate your legs as much as possible. That's a little bit harder, especially if you need to be standing and walking and just be in an upright position most of the day, and you don't have the luxury of laying down. Second is wearing compression socks. Now, of course, all my coworkers told me, you have to wear compression socks, Nisa. Well, guess what? I've been wearing compression socks ever since I've been a nurse. The problem is my compression socks only go up to my knees. They cover my shin. However, the varicose veins started appearing above my knee in my thigh back area. That's where they're located, and they progressively gotten higher and higher. So I got compression thighs. Compression socks can be really difficult to put on even if you're not pregnant. So when you're pregnant, it's even more difficult. Here I am trying to put compression socks. For my left leg, I'm only using the one that goes up to my knee because I have no varicose veins there. No problems on that side. Now on my right leg, when I go to work, I'm wearing thigh-high compression socks. These are very difficult to put on. It can take me a really long time, and I'm putting them on while I am in my second trimester, so I'm roughly about 6 months pregnant here, and you can see it's a challenge, but I do get them on for when I go to work. Okay, we're still on the topic of varicose veins because what started happening is now that I'm wearing thigh-high compression socks, my veins continued pooling. And so I started developing varicose veins in my labia, you guys, only on the right side. So my private area is literally asymmetrical. This might be a little too much information, but I just want to let you know you can actually get varicose veins that keep going up all the way till there. It's very annoying, and yeah. So it's uncomfortable on that side as well. And now I have to wear compression tights. They are also so difficult to put on, and it took me like an hour to get them on. And I'm not doing it again for the sake of this video. Because my varicose veins are in my thigh and more like the private area, so my thighs and groin, I got some compression biker shorts almost. They kind of look like biker shorts. I'm pre-recording this video, but I got it in the mail, so I will have to go and try those on and let you know in my third trimester how it's going, okay? Moving on, the next symptom that I started having was pain in my hip. And this became very clear, especially at work when there was like a staphylococcus and I was trying to run to a patient. Yeah, I could not run. I tried and then I stopped. I was like, oh, that's not happening. So the pain in the hip was usually on the right side. It was a very focused area. And luckily there's physical therapy at work as well. So I kind of just talked to them for a little bit. They suggested for me to continue on and actually do physical therapy and see somebody. I have to say the strength training exercises they had me do did help. I also think that actually just like resting and not being on my legs as much would have helped as well, along with some of the stretching. So I'm not seeing physical therapy anymore, but it did help me with my hip pain. Due to the hip pain in my second trimester, I did actually stop those recreational activities I was doing before, and that was the biking and the ice skating. It was just a little too much on my legs, my body, so mostly because of the hip pain. I did run through the airport one time. That was impressive. So towards the end of my second trimester, I started developing pregnancy congestion, also known as pregnancy rhinitis. Or in other words, you just pretty much stuffed up in your nose and you sound like you're sick all the time. Like all the time, and nothing clears it. In my previous pregnancies, I've had congestion, and that's usually when I go to sleep laying down. Because there's an increase of fluid in our body, there is a chance of having congestion in our nose. Now, during this pregnancy, my congestion, like I could barely breathe through both nostrils or even just one. So it sounded like I was sick all the time. It looked like I was sick all the time. And before you comment below and tell me what to do to clear it up, let's go through it. So I tried the nasal spray. I tried Flonase or Afrin. And so I did that first, and I was doing that a few times for like a couple days. Problem with that is I started getting nosebleeds. I would blow my nose in the middle of the night, and then I looked at the tissue and it was like dark. So then I flashed the light on there and it was just bright red blood. So I quickly stopped that because I don't think bright red blood, nose bleeding is a good idea. So I'm not doing that anymore. Claritin. So antihistamine or Claritin, you're probably gonna suggest that. I do take that. And you know, like some days it's better than others, but me on Claritin, very, very minimal assistant, almost looks like I'm not even on Claritin. I still just look like pathetic and sick at work, but I still manage. Anyway, that's Claritin. So next, my coworker suggested, Anissa, just put normal saline up your nose, like doing a nasal flush, the neti potty, right? So I was like, okay, I'm at work. We got tons of nasal flushes. And so I'm just gonna grab a few, shoot them up my nose. Sounds horrible. But anyway, tried to clear it, came out, and I was like, it kind of helped, you guys, but I don't know. Then I purchased the neti potty, tried to do the nasal pouring, cleaning thing. Oh my gosh, my husband just looked at me, he's like, what's going on? He's like, I'm trying, man. It's like, none of this is working really. So I did the neti potty. It sort of helps. I do it once in a while, like if we're traveling and I'm just trying to like manage, but everything is helping like 10%. Even during the shower, like a hot shower, steam, all that stuff, it doesn't clear my nose. Blowing my nose is just constantly stuffy. You guys, it's just constantly stuffy. My husband knows about it. He's like, you're just like a hot mess. And I think the congestion is actually attributing to my tiredness as well, inability to just do general exercise and walk around and be like really awake because I'm just not catching my breath and like getting a lot of air in, if that makes sense. Wearing a mask at work also doesn't quite help. Oh, and then with the congestion, there's all the sneezing, but then when they're sneezing, there's incontinence. So that kind of sucks. After this pregnancy, I'm gonna have to work on pelvic floor exercises for sure. I know the nasal congestion will clear up after the pregnancy, and then we'll think about those varicose veins. Besides all this, I still worked up the courage to take my two kids to London, where it consisted of flying on a 9-hour flight, and that was a red-eye flight alone with two toddlers, ages 2.5 and 4.5. And then after the 9-hour flight, there was a 1-hour subway, and then after that, had to walk to the hotel. Granted, my husband took our bags with him, so he did a check-in bag, and I just had the backpacks and the kids to manage, so I could fly alone by myself. There was no car seats or anything. That was, thank goodness. I made it. I also took the kids out on 2 days by myself out to the London Eye and the Big Ben. We walked all around London there, and then also we went over to the Natural History Museum, and that all consisted of using the subway system. Having this travel stroller was really helpful. But yeah, I made it, you guys. That was like an accomplishment in itself. I was also really, really proud of myself at that time, just being able to do all that. So during this trip, I brought compression socks that went up to my knees, the thigh-high socks, and I also brought the compression tights. That's the moment where I did wear those tights and I was walking around London and I felt dizzy. I had to take them off. Comment below if you have any questions about flying or traveling with toddlers. We do fly with our kids quite a bit, and then we also do a lot of road trips as well. Now on to my third trimester, and I'll see you in this video where I talk about why I was in denial and hiding my pregnancy during my first trimester. Thank you so much for watching the Kaching Family YouTube channel, and I'll see you in that video. Bye!